تفضل.
This was AB, Brooklyn, New York. Assalamu alaikum. How would you explain the significance of Eid al-Adha to a new Muslim? What are we celebrating, etc.? Barakallahu feek.
طيب. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. How could you explain the concept of Eid al-Adha to a non-Muslim or a new Muslim, etc.? What are we celebrating, etc.? The Eids come after two major acts of ibadah, two pillars of Islam: Ramadan and his fasting, and al-Hajj. So the Eid is meant to be a means of thanking Allah for those acts of ibadah and to celebrate our Islam and to renew our love of Allah and our thankfulness and our gratitude of Him, the Mighty and the Most High. Eid al-Adha is oftentimes a bit more special, whereas it is symbolic of the way of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, our spiritual or religious grandfather, the Imam of the Muwahhideen. So that's what's meant by Eid al-Adha, and to thank Allah. And also the concept of Allah commanding us to sacrifice animals for His sake. What does that mean? Giving precedence to Allah's love, spending our wealth, spending that which is dear to us for the cause of Allah, and to realize that Allah made these animals submissive and subservient. And if Allah had willed, He would have made the things that we eat and drink the hardest and most difficult things to come across. You think about the things that people eat the most are oftentimes the easiest things to catch and to slaughter. Everyone understand this? So we have to be mindful of that. Wallahu alam.
Initials AM, Springfield, Virginia. May Allah preserve you, Mufti. If someone had to do the prostration of forgetfulness but forgot to do so and remembers much after giving the salam, how should the two sujood be done?
Question is from where?
Springfield, Virginia.
From Springfield, Virginia. With regards to the sujood as-sahw, a person forgot to do them and they didn't remember until later on. What do? It depends on why you had to make sujood as-sahw. If you were making sujood as-sahw for something recommended, or you were making sujood as-sahw for something that you messed up in your prayer, and you forgot and you left off in your prayer, or you did something extra in your prayer, and a long time went by and you didn't remember, you have to make that prayer up again. Make up that prayer again. Wallahu alam.
Initials AF, Manchester, UK. Assalamu alaikum. If someone has fallen into zina a few times and they feel like they are in a rotten cycle mentally now, they keep having thoughts about it. Advice for someone in this situation. They don't have the discipline for fasting and they can't get married. Over the last few years, they've been mentally scarred by what they have watched.
Questions from Manchester. Someone who fell into zina and it's hard for them to stop falling into zina. They don't have the discipline to fast, they cannot get married, and they've been mentally scarred by things that they've watched. What to do? For argument's sake, worse come to worse, if you can't stop making zina, keep making tawbah. You make zina, make tawbah. It's just that simple. You fall down 7 times, you get up 8 times. That's worse come to worse, we said. Of course, what's obligatory is for you to stop making zina, for you to fight yourself, for you to figure out what's the cause behind me making zina. And if you've been scarred by something that you saw or watched, then get therapy, get help, get the proper necessary counseling to stop this and to stop being a prisoner by your thoughts or your trauma or whatever has happened to you. But worse come to worse, then what? Don't stop making tawbah. And what the Quran and the Sunnah tell us and teach us about tawbah, and how shaitan wishes to come between the son of Adam and tawbah and making him despair and lose hope. The man killed 100 people and Allah was merciful to him. 100 souls. You know how much blood that is? How many orphans he made? How many widows he made? He killed 100 people and Allah was merciful to him. So at worst come to worst, don't stop making tawbah. And if that was your life, you kept doing it and you couldn't stop for whatever reason, keep making tawbah. Allah's mercy expands all things. But the moment you lose hope of Allah's mercy, you give up, you quit, all types of problems come. Suicide, leaving Islam, apostatizing, and the list goes on. Don't lose hope. لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. والله أعلم.
Initials UK, Durham, North Carolina. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. May Allah bless you. How does one go about birthday wishes if they have already informed people not to wish them, but they still do? Jazakallah khairan.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You said North Carolina?
Sure.
With regards to birthdays, birthday wishes or birthday gifts?
Birthday wishes.
Birthday wishes. You told people that you don't celebrate your birthday. What do? Khalas. You tell them that you don't celebrate your birthday. They keep saying it or asking you what you want. No, thank you. Or ignore them. And so, if you tell someone it's your religion and it's not your religion to practice your birthday, to celebrate your birthday, and they keep offering, asking you, it's disrespectful. I just said that's my religion now. You keep asking me and offering me. We don't have to argue over birthdays. We don't have to agree. You could be a Muslim. You may say it's permissible to celebrate a birthday. Somebody may say it's not haram. Okay, no problem. It's no need for us to have a fiqh debate. I don't celebrate it, and I know you do. So therefore, if you want to be friends, let's not discuss it. Let's not talk about it. But you keep throwing it in my face. What do you want? What you want? I want to get you something. That's a different story. As far as if it's a non-Muslim person, then of course you have to establish many principles to your non-Muslim family members or co-workers in a wise way, with hikmah, with wisdom, in a gentle way. And that's because the Prophet ﷺ says, "Inna al-Islam qad bada'a ghariban." Islam started something strange and then will return to something strange. And it allows no doubt, living in 2019 in many parts of the world, many parts of New York City, Islam is strange. Or certain practices of Islam are strange. The sunnah. There are thousands of Muslims in New York City, right? All over. But how many of you actually know? How many actually give you salam? How many don't deal with alcohol and gambling and drugs and this and that and the haram things? So you, being a practicing Muslim, trying to strive, not being perfect, but actually what? Trying. You're going to be strange. You're an extremist. You're a fundamentalist. You're a terrorist. Because you have a full beard. Because you wear a dress. Your wife wearing niqab and gloves. She's an extremist. What does she do but wear niqab and gloves? She's not in the street cursing people for sinning and joining the good, forbidding the evil, sticking her fingers in her ears. Ittaqillah. She's just walking on the street with a niqab and gloves, minding her business. And she's called an extremist because she's not wearing skin-tight shorts and a skin-tight halter top, exposing her breast and her behind. So she's an extremist. This is how we live. So you got to realize you have to be wise when you talk about these things. You have to be gentle with people. People are lost. People are slaves of their desires, slaves of the dunya. Many Muslims, they're far from the basics of Islam, the basic teaching of Islam. So you have to be mindful when you talk to people and don't always get but so upset and so mad when someone doesn't know how to behave with someone who's trying to strive and practice the deen. I cannot explain in words, brothers and sisters, how important it is to understand this. How much far or how farther your dawah can go if you understand this. That the people, the average person, 9 out of 10, Allah knows best, is what? Oblivious of the purpose of creation. Oblivious of Islam, oblivious of Sunnah. The average Muslim, you come in a limousine or an Uber or this and that, they're oblivious to the basic akhlaq. Assalamu alaikum. Going to the airport, you see the guy's tag, Muhammad Aziz. Clear as day, he comes from an ethnicity of a Muslim. Huh? You come in the airport with a beard, a kufi, a thobe. You have a mushaf in your pocket, and he says, "Are you a Muslim?" Or he's treating you worse than the non-Muslim security is treating you. It's sad. But it is a what? A reality. How many kuffar is he with all day, every day, talking with, chatting with? Kuffar supervisor, kuffar this, kuffar that. He's surrounded by this. So I gotta be mindful that you are the stranger. You are the weird person walking in the airport dressed like that. Practicing Islam. I can't shake your hand. What? What do you mean? So be mindful of that. Use wisdom and be compassionate to the people and realize that the average person is lost. And be thankful and grateful to Allah that Allah Azza wa Jal has opened your eyes and allowed you to try to want to practice and want to strive. Wallahu alam.
Initials AB, London, UK. Mufti, can I pray in shorts above my knees and on my thighs, a part of my aura?
Question is from London. Can I pray with shorts above my knees and on my thighs or part of my aura? Don't pray in shorts, period. Unless it's a necessity. There's no other time. You're going to miss the salah. You have to pray in shorts and they're above your knees. That's one thing. But if you have the time, even if you delay the salah for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour, pray with pants that are loose, and izar or qamis, do that. And do not pray with shorts on. Let alone shorts that are just above the knee. Is the knee aura? Is the thigh aura? It's not even important for us to discuss that right now. You should not make bare sacrifice when you offer to Allah. Bare necessity when you make salah. Islamu ala khamsin. Islam is based on 5, and from that is the daily prayer. So your prayer should not be just offered by, just barely getting by. Don't make salah like that unless you what? Unless you have to. Wallahu alam.
Initials MF, Staten Island, New York. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it obligatory for a matured female to slaughter sacrifice lamb for the Eid even though she's not married yet?
Question comes from Brooklyn.
Staten Island.
Staten Island, excuse me. Is it obligatory for an adult Muslimah to slaughter even though she's not married? Slaughtering is obligatory according to those who say that's obligatory, regardless man or woman. Those ulama and fuqaha who say that the udhiyah is obligatory, they don't give no exception to man or woman. A woman could be a single parent mother, she could be single, whatever the case may be. All right? The concept of someone who's wealthy, like we mentioned last night, and the concept of someone who's slaughtering on behalf of his household. But if there's an 18-year-old girl who lives by herself and she has the money, she should slaughter, whether it's obligatory or recommended. And the faqih who says that it's mandatory to make udhiyah is not going to make a difference between a man or a woman, married or not, unless the husband is slaughtering on her behalf or the father is slaughtering what? On her behalf, her guardian. Everyone understand this? Wallahu alam.
Initials SA, Ontario, Canada. If I accidentally change the order of my wudu, do I have to remake it? Isn't there a hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made wudu in a different order?
Question says, if I accidentally change the order of my wudu, do I have to make it up? Isn't there a hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ mixed up his wudu? It depends on what you mean by order. Right versus left, or head before face and mouth and nose.
Assalamu
Alaikum salam to Allah. Hi, ya akhi.
I like your math again.
Thank you very much. Jazakallahu khairan. What do you mean by order? I do the left before the right, or I do a whole different part before the part that it was mentioned in the Quran and in the Hadith. So therefore, many of the ulama of Islam, they say that at-tartib is mandatory. And there's no reason why Allah Azza wa Jal puts wiping over the head, wamsahu bi ru'usikum, before washing the feet, except for the fa'idah of wujub at-tartib, that it has to be done in order. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initials AA, London, UK. Ruling on sisters wearing false lashes around sisters and mahram only.
Question from London. Can a sister wear fake eyelashes? If it's not harmful to your body, it doesn't harm your body, it's not in front of men, as they mentioned, only in mahrams, sisters, la bas. It's nothing wrong with it. It's permissible to wear a fake eyelash. According to some of the scholars, the modern day ulama, la bas. As long as it isn't harmful, and as long as it's not done in front of a man who's not supposed to see you. My advice is to have your natural eyelashes. Be grateful for what Allah has given you. I'm sure you have beautiful eyelashes, inshallah. There's beauty in everything, but not everyone sees it. A wise man once said. There's beauty in everything, but not what? Not everyone sees it. So be grateful for what Allah has given you, and there's no need to wear anything fake. Wallahu alam.
Initials IA, Toronto, Canada. Recently, husband passed away and wife is still going through her iddah period. Since Eid is coming up, wife wants to spend Eid with her family that live in another country and not be alone. Can she travel? Traveling with her daughter and son-in-law from the States to Canada for a week.
Tight. Repeat the question again.
Initials IA, Toronto, Canada. Recently, husband passed away and wife is still going through her iddah period. Since Eid is coming up, wife wants to spend Eid with her family that live in another country and not be alone. Can she travel? Traveling with her daughter and son-in-law from the States to Canada for a week.
Tight. Question, and it's from where again?
Toronto.
Toronto. A sister is making her iddah for being a widow. She doesn't want to spend Eid al-Adha by herself. Can she and her daughter and son-in-law travel to another country to be with someone else? How old is your daughter? Your son-in-law, how old is he? And can people come to you instead of you traveling to them? And who do you live with in a country in which you're by yourself? Please answer these questions for us to help you better, inshallah.
Initials ET, Phoenix, Arizona. Is Salat Tasbih correct?
Question is from Phoenix? No, don't make Salat Tasbih. Don't make it. Make the Salah, the Nafila prayers, the Sunnah prayers that are established in the authentic Hadiths. And there are more than enough of them. More than enough of them. Allahu Alam.
Khidr Nasir Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. No tips for the newlyweds.
طيب. Brother Khidr, new tips for newlyweds. Enjoy the moment while it lasts. Huh? Enjoy the moment while what? It doesn't even have to mean nothing negative, like you're not going to like her or she's not going to like you, but you're not going to be newlywed forever. You're going to have children. You're going to, inshallah, grow older. So enjoy it. Cherish it while it lasts. Also, get to know this woman and try to have her to get to know you. And before you get married, and that preliminary chance or that time, try your best to work on your demons and the ugly things that you have of your character that she doesn't know about yet. She doesn't know that you have a bad temper problem yet. So before you get married, 6 months later or a year later, try your best to what? To eradicate that problem before you get married, and when she's going to discover that you have an anger problem. Or you have halitosis, really bad breath. You want to what? Work on that what? Al-Adha. Or whatever problem that you have or shortcoming, try your best to fight it now. So when the 6 months or 3 months come later on, you can what? That's one less worry in your marriage, huh? Inshallah, take things slow. Get to know her. Discuss things, plan things, and be grateful to Allah and enjoy the moment. Wallahu alam. And don't stress about the marriage.
Initials IR, Detroit, Michigan. Can you recite Ayatul Kursi in Salah?
Detroit, Michigan, can you recite Ayatul Kursi in the what?
Salah.
Yes, you can. There's nothing wrong with reciting that in the Salah.
Hanad S, Ottawa, Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. May Allah bless you. Is it permissible to pick up boxing as a hobby?
Question is from Ottawa.
Yeah.
Is it permissible to pick up boxing as a hobby? Boxing, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, as long as you don't break any Islamic rules, it's fine. And it could be recommended or it could be obligatory to learn. The concept of punching a Muslim in the face or hitting a human in the face, that's one discussion. But the concept of training, protecting yourself, learning how to hold your hands, how to defend yourself is a good thing. And oftentimes, not all of the times, oftentimes it could be obligatory to defend yourself and to defend Islam. And you may get married one day. You don't have time to do this fancy move. That's not how a street fight works. Average street fight is no longer than what? 30 seconds, a minute, if that. Somebody try to mug you or jump you. You're in an alleyway or you're in a gas station pumping your car or you're in an elevator. Someone tries to attack you. You have to learn how to defend yourself and defend Islam that you're representing, or defend your family or your mother or your daughter. So learning the basics of boxing, let alone the cardiovascular, the mental training, the discipline, the mental psychology, the philosophy of boxing is a good thing. Punching someone in the face, having someone punch you in the face, looking at someone's aura, you look at someone else's aura, هذا كله خارج عن الموضوع. That's outside of what we're talking about. Wallahu alam.
The clarification of the wife traveling. Widows in her 60s, her daughter and son-in-law are in their 40s. They want to spend Eid with the late husband's mom, and most family live in Toronto, Canada.
Is there anyone who lives where they are? Why do they have to travel to be with someone? And can they not travel to you? The iddah of your husband, the people that you have with you that are older, you're older, etc. But is it a necessity to travel? Is it a necessity? Is it a haja, a need to travel? Can they not come to you? It'd be in best. Wallahu alam. We'll stop here. And inshallah, they can send more details tomorrow or via email. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Sallallahu sallam wa barak ala abdi wa rasulina Muhammad. It's time for the iqamah. Please forgive me.